Hey everyone! Have you ever wondered if there's something truly dark hidden behind the cheerful and funny cartoons we grew up with? What if behind the bright colors and silly characters lies a terrifying secret that no one talks about? Today, we're diving into one of the creepiest theories about the legendary cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants. At first glance, this show seems harmless. SpongeBob has fun, works at the Krusty Krab, hangs out with Patrick, tolerates Squidward, and enjoys life in Bikini Bottom. But what if everything isn't as happy as it seems? What if this city isn't just an ordinary underwater town but a place that has survived a real apocalypse? Today, we're going to dig deep and uncover the truth. Who really lives in Bikini Bottom? Why is SpongeBob's world so strange? And most importantly, could SpongeBob be the last survivor of a destroyed world? Are you ready to see your favorite childhood cartoon from a completely different perspective? Then sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's dive in. SpongeBob SquarePants is a cartoon that many of us grew up watching. Fun underwater adventures, quirky characters, and lots of humor. But what if I told you that Bikini Bottom isn't just a fictional underwater city, but a place that has survived a true catastrophe? And what if SpongeBob himself is the last survivor of a world that was wiped out by an apocalypse? A sunken ghost town. Let's take a look at the location of Bikini Bottom. This underwater city is situated right under Bikini Atoll, a real-world site where the US conducted nuclear tests in the 1940s and 1950s. More than 20 nuclear explosions turned this area into a radioactive wasteland. It's very possible that the creators of SpongeBob intentionally chose this setting as a hidden reference to its dark history. Now think about it, every resident of Bikini Bottom looks bizarre. Many of them have unnaturally large eyes, strange body shapes, and unnatural skin colors. These could be the mutations caused by radiation exposure. If that's the case, Bikini Bottom isn't just an underwater city, it's a society of mutants, survivors of a global disaster. SpongeBob, the only one who hasn't changed, among all the strange residents of Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob stands out. Not just because of his cheerful personality, but because he seems completely unaware of how eerie his world is. He lives in a pineapple, which makes no sense underwater, goes to work at the Krusty Krab, and acts as if nothing is wrong. What if SpongeBob is the only one who doesn't realize that his world is already gone? He might be trapped in a delusion, trying to keep life normal, while everything around him is actually just ruins of the past. His constant optimism could be a psychological defense mechanism, preventing him from facing the horrifying truth. Where are all the normal fish? Take a closer look. There are almost no normal fish in the show. Yes, we see some background fish, but there aren't nearly as many as there should be in an actual thriving ocean ecosystem. Those who remain act in strange ways. Mr. Krabs is obsessed with money, as if clinging to a past that no longer exists. Plankton is fixated on power, possibly trying to take control of what little is left. Sandy lives in isolation inside a dome, almost like a scientist observing a failed experiment. Patrick appears to be the most affected by radiation, reduced to a simple-minded existence. Squidward is the only one who seems aware of how terrible their reality is, but he's powerless to change it. What if Bikini Bottom was once a normal ocean city, but after a nuclear disaster, only the strongest and most mutated creatures survived? Why doesn't SpongeBob realize the truth? If this theory is correct, the big question is, why does SpongeBob act like everything is fine? There are two possible answers. 1. Radiation altered his brain, leaving him permanently stuck in a state of blissful ignorance. 2. He knows the truth but refuses to accept it, forcing himself to live in a fantasy world rather than confront reality. Of course, this is just a theory. Maybe SpongeBob SquarePants is just a fun and silly cartoon with no deeper meaning. But when you really think about it, Bikini Bottom is far too strange to be a normal underwater city. So, what do you think? Is SpongeBob the last survivor of a nuclear apocalypse? Or is this just a wild theory? You decide. So, we've explored one of the creepiest theories about SpongeBob SquarePants. When you really think about it, Bikini Bottom does seem far too strange to be just a normal underwater city. Nuclear tests, mutated inhabitants, the absence of regular sea creatures. And SpongeBob himself, acting as if none of it is real. Of course, this is just a theory. Maybe the creators of SpongeBob never intended for the show to have such a dark meaning. But that's the beauty of hidden theories, they allow us to look at familiar things from a completely different perspective. But what do you think? Do you believe that Bikini Bottom is actually a radioactive ghost town? Or is this all just wild speculation and coincidences? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, I'd love to hear your take on this. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more dark and creepy theories about cartoons and movies. Thanks for watching until the end, there's still so much more to uncover.